It's the popcorn kernel. This year marked the first time that Bethesda has ever had a presence at the E3 conferences. Unlike my first time, Bethesda managed to keep it up for 2 hours and performed remarkably well. Everybody wanted to see Fallout 4, so Bethesda played it smart and they played it safe, and they showed us a lot of Fallout 4. But before we get to that, I'm going to recap the rest of Bethesda's conference, telling you what to expect in the coming year from one of gaming's biggest and most popular publishers. Bethesda opened the conference with a gameplay demo of the new Doom. Unfortunately, it looks nothing like the old Doom, which is a problem if you like the old Doom, which I did. Regrettably, this game looks rather generic. Readily apparent are a graphical style, controls, handling, weapons, lighting effects, item pickups, melee finishing moves and gameplay mechanics almost carbon copied from Bethesda's last reboot, Wolfenstein. I'm afraid it was almost inevitable, since Bethesda publishes both, which means they pay for the development costs of both. Given Wolfenstein The New Order's fairly high review scores, I'm not particularly surprised that they're giving the new Doom reboot a very similar treatment. Nonetheless, what they showed of the new game left me sounding about as excited as Peter Dinklage's voiceovers in Destiny. Oh yes, and naturally there's a chainsaw. Now for those of you who have ever played Quake 3 Arena and said to yourself, gee, I wish this played more like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, i.e. nobody, you will rejoice at the gameplay demo of Doom's new multiplayer. I don't even want to talk about it. As the entirety of the game is going to be spent running around shotgunning demons in the face, I feel like I've already experienced, vicariously, most of what Doom has to offer just by watching the gameplay trailer. The Doom reboot will go one of two ways. Wolfenstein The New Order, receiving mild critical acclaim and resecuring the commercial viability of the franchise, or Duke Nukem Forever, a game that everybody wishes had never been made at all. Doom is scheduled to release in spring 2016 on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. I'm going to skip Battlecry, if that's okay with you, because frankly, it looks like a ripoff of Team Fortress 2. Nothing says, this studio is going to last a long time, like putting all of their capital into a game that was already made 8 years ago. Battlecry releases at an unspecified time in 2015, and frankly, it should stay that way. Next up is Dishonored 2. This game appears to be about a woman who thinks she's in Mirror's Edge, armed with a physically improbable crossbow and the apparent ability to fire Groot from her arm. The main, or at least one of the main villains of the game, appears to be a guy who has committed no wrong besides having a pencil moustache. The height of his popped collar, however, exhibits the law of diminishing returns as seen as in this chart, demonstrating collar height in inches versus air of villainy as measured in the rather unhelpful unit of depravity per cubic centimeter. Also, a man finds a mask. I assume that will be important. Dishonored 2 does not yet have a release date, but will presumably be made available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Oh, but in the meantime, to satisfy your desire to be sneaky and stab dubiously evil guards in the neck, you can wait for Dishonored Definitive Edition. It's the original Dishonored, remastered for next-gen consoles, and includes the DLC. This will be released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC in fall 2015. Can you say Elder Scrolls-themed card game? If you perform rudimentary mimicry, you probably can. If you wanted more Elder Scrolls-themed things to play with and the Elder Scrolls Online wasn't keeping you entertained enough, you can send your message of appreciation to Bethesda right now. If you don't care, well, welcome to the club. Elder Scrolls Legends comes out in 2015 for iPad and PC. A surprise announcement was made. A Tiny Tower-style micromanagement game called Fallout Shelter, in which you get to become the overseer of your own private vault. It's free. Mr. Todd Howard boasts that there are no paywalls and no pesky in-app purchase gimmicks, and it's available right the hell now. I downloaded it as soon as it was available from the App Store, and I've been playing it a bit. I'm actually really enjoying it so far. It's available on iPhone and iPad. If you're an Android user, Well, that's too bad. Now finally, without any further ado, here is everything we know so far about Fallout 4. It has been all but confirmed that the game is set in Boston, Massachusetts. The start of the game, in which you create your character using a contextual and fully customizable magic mirror, takes place before the nuclear bombs go off, and the last thing we see in the very first part of the gameplay demo is the actual detonation. Your character is the sole survivor of Vault 111, and you emerge 200 years later. Perhaps it's something in the water, or maybe it's an unintended side effect of taking a face full of fission, but you haven't aged a day. You are looking remarkably good for someone who's over 2 centuries old. From there, it's pretty much your standard Fallout game, where you go and explore things. Oh wait, no it isn't! Okay, first off, you get a dog named Dog. That's pretty descriptive, even if it's not all that creative. Well, who cares, I'm going to name him Sparky. Or maybe Butt Nugget, if I decide that my character is just going to be a total asshole in every conceivable manner. And for your information before you ask, yes, I did blow up Megaton in every game save I started in Fallout 3. But it gets better. Unique to this Fallout is a mechanic that I think is totally fucking awesome. Remember all that useless junk you carried around with you for no explicable reason? Spare parts, rubber hoses, etc, etc. Well, here's the sweet part. You can now go to certain parts of the map, tear down the old buildings and build your own settlement. That's right, you can build your own settlement. And as you add more stuff, more people will move in and live there. You can build power generators, hook them up to lights, signs, turrets and control panels, and fortify your base, all done in real time in the game engine. Raiders will occasionally try to attack your base as it gets larger, so adding fortifications is kind of important. On the plus side, I've always wanted to shout in a commanding voice, "Activate the defense grid!" And now it looks like I'll finally have a reason to do so. And if that didn't get you excited enough, using those same spare parts you've been carrying around, you can now completely customize and extensively rebuild all of the 50+ base weapons in the game. Take a basic pistol, for example. Add a stock, a suppressor, a longer barrel, change the trigger, give it an extended magazine, pop a magnified scope on the top of that sucker, and suddenly you have an economical sniper rifle fed with handgun ammunition. Or turn a basic plasma pistol into a focused plasma rifle with an enlarged battery. Finally, the demo showed us that we could customize the materials, parts, and paint jobs of our own suit of power armor. If that doesn't get you excited, you are doing life wrong. And you like special edition games, right? Well, go ahead and pre-order the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy edition, because you'll get your very own Pip-Boy, in which you can place your iPhone. And don't forget to grab the Pip-Boy app for said iPhone. It connects to your game console as a second screen experience. Change your weapon and armor loadout, check your weapon's stats, check your character's stats, or control the in-game radio in real time. Why? Because this is the future. That's why. I'll keep you updated as we learn more about Fallout 4. Suffice it to say, I don't think Bethesda has quite finished with the surprises just yet. Fallout 4 launches on November 10th, 2015, and will be available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. I'm the Popcorn Colonel. Stay tuned to this channel for more information and more recap videos from E3